Hello, Anto.
How you going?
I'm very well, thanks. Thanks so much for coming along to see me today. As you know, my name's Margaret, and we spoke on the phone just yesterday when you made your appointment to come.
That's right.
As you'll remember, we did go through all of the logistical information, like the fact that everything we say is confidential. Anonymity is very important. And of course you signed all of the consent forms before you came along to the session today. Okay, so thanks very much for doing that. You might also recall what I told you yesterday, is that this session will go for approximately 20 minutes. Of course, you're free to leave at any time that you feel like leaving. And we'll start off with a little bit of an introduction. We'll start working through the reasons that you've come along today. And hopefully by the end of today, we'll come up with some sort of plan that we can carry on with for your next visit, if that's what you decide to do.
Get it?
So that's how today's going to work. And please stop me if you have any questions at all, Anto.
Righto.
So I want to start by simply asking you, what's the main reason that's brought you along here today to see me?
I suppose my health with years and years of smoking.
Okay. So when you say smoking, what have you been smoking?
Cigarettes, pot, and more recently synthetic pot.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been smoking cigarettes and pot?
Well, I suppose I'm 50 when I started smoking cigarettes and pot when I was probably 14. So what's that, 36 years?
Okay, so 36 years it's quite a long time. And you mentioned synthetic pot as well. How long has that been in your life?
Just in the last six months or so, I suppose.
Okay, so just the last 6 months.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there any one of these three in particular that you want to focus on today, or do you just want to talk about your health and smoking in general?
Well, there's not really one I want to focus on, I suppose, because I like smoking them all. But it's not something I can afford, that's one thing. And the doctors have told me that it can't go on. But, you know, apart from being sick once, it hasn't affected me so far in 36 years.
Okay. All right, so we'll just chat in general then about your smoking per se. So the three smoking issues that you have. You said initially that the reason you're here is for your health, but you've also just mentioned money. Are they both a concern to you?
Yeah, they are. I mean, everyone who just smokes cigarettes knows that even if you're a pack a day, it's like $140 a week. And, you know, I smoke a few grams of pot, and they're 25 a gram. You know, I'd probably have 2 grams every 3 days, so there's, you know, could be another 100, could be 200. So, but I don't smoke pot and synthetic pot together, obviously. Because there wouldn't be any sense in that.
What do you mean by that? There wouldn't be any sense in that?
Well, you either smoke pot or you smoke synthetic pot. You know, there's no advantage of smoking them both together.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess the main thing that you're telling me now is that this smoking habit for all three is very expensive for you.
Yeah. $250, $300, I suppose, a week. You know, which is, you know, could go towards lots of different things.
What other things do you think the money could be used for?
Oh, I thought pay the mortgage. You know, always struggling to pay that. But I'm always struggling to get on, so something has to give, I suppose.
Okay. Have you ever had any periods in the past, Anto, where you have given up smoking?
No.
Okay, so not in 36 years?
No.
Okay. Have there been any periods where you've thought about giving up?
Oh, everyone thinks about it, but unless you find a real reason, no one does it, do they?
Okay. So when you say everybody thinks about it, what about you, Anto? Have you thought about it?
Oh, yeah, I've thought about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I've never really gotten around to doing anything about it. But now I have to, which I'm not real happy about. But
Okay. So you're not entirely pleased that you've had to come along today to see me?
oh, yes and no. Yes and no. Probably more no than yes.
Okay. Well, you've certainly done the right thing in coming along to see me today. I can see that you must have some motivation to address this issue or you wouldn't have come today. Now, what you've just told me really, Anto, in the last 5 or 10 minutes is the impact that the smoking's having on you financially. Tell me a little bit more about your health concerns.
Oh, I got crook there a few months ago. I got pneumonia when I was working away from home. And, yeah, I got really crook, ended up in hospital. And, yeah, the doctors asked me similar questions to what you're asking me about how much I smoke. And they said if I keep doing it, well, it wouldn't be that long for the world. So, but that's the first time I've ever been sick. You know, I don't think that the smoking's really affected me. I mean, I couldn't run a marathon, but apart from that, you know, everyone talks about pot being a demotivator, but, you know, I still get up and go to work every day.
Okay. So you think pot hasn't had that big an effect on your health, really?
No, I don't think so. More in terms of, like, people say you don't do anything, or you can't operate. And, you know, I've operated self-employed for 30 years doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the recent hospital visit?
oh, I got crook, just all phlegmy and fluey, and I couldn't breathe properly, and eventually called for an ambulance because I didn't think I'd be able to drive to the hospital, and I ended up being in there for a couple of days, which cost me 2 days' work. Because I'm self-employed, no one gives me sickness benefits. And yeah, that's when they said they've got me on different drugs and that, but that's what they said, was that if I kept on doing this, well then I wouldn't be long for the world. And I know myself, money-wise, I can't keep doing it because it's just too hard. It's too hard to get on. That's why I turned to synthetic pot.
Okay. We might talk about the synthetic pot in a moment, Anto, but just going back to what the staff at the hospital told you, that you mightn't have long to live if you keep smoking, that must have made you feel frightened?
Oh, I wouldn't say frightened, but concerned. Because, like I said, I don't feel, apart from getting crook once, I've never been crook, so I just put it down to a bad bug.
Okay. All right. The synthetic pot, how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's all right. It's a little bit dearer. You know, it's like 20 a gram for pot and 25 a gram for synthetic pot, but it's just easier to get, you know, because then it's sort of, you know, it's not seen as a crime, so you're not doing anything wrong. You just go to your local lolly shop and buy your synthetic pot.
Okay. So that's what it's like for you. Quite a simple thing to do.
Yeah, and it's not a hassle. You're not worried about the police. But I'm not sure how long that's going to last. I can't see it lasting long. I can't see the government putting up with it.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen the recent media attention about synthetic pot, and a lot of people are experiencing quite serious health effects from synthetic pot. Were you aware of that?
I've seen, different stuff, but I just figure they're people who can't handle pot, whether it's natural or synthetic. Some people shouldn't smoke it, whereas me, it doesn't affect me, so, I don't see it as a problem, apart from this, like I said, getting a little bit sick.
Okay. So, do you have any ideas about what your health is like right now in terms of the recent lung problems?
Oh, I feel all right at the moment. It's all cleared up. I can't remember what my lung... I think I went to the doctor as part of a scheduled visit. He gave me some lung test, breathing into some machine. I can't quite remember. He said it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. So, but I don't want to run a marathon. I don't need to be super fit. As long as I just keep going every day.
Okay, so going on what you've told me already, Anto, you're saying that marijuana is affecting your life financially. You're having problems with your mortgage. And you're saying that you think that your health is okay. You don't want to run a marathon, but obviously that the hospital has told you that you need to do something or your health will be very seriously affected.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So have you had any thoughts about your ability to change your habits with your smoking?
I'm smoking rollies instead of tailor-mades. That seems to mean I smoke less, and I think I'm smoking less pot, but I'm not sure.
So how come you've made those changes?
Both. I know I've got to look after my health a bit better. But I suppose I could always get a flu shot, then I wouldn't get pneumonia.
Okay, now that is something that you could do, Anto, but that doesn't address the issue that you've come along today to talk about, which is your smoking. And certainly you can get a flu shot.
Yeah. We all avoid talking about it and doing anything about stuff like this. No one wants to think about dying.
I think it's excellent that you've already started to make those changes of your smoking habits. So I think that shows you can make some changes if you want to.
Yeah, well, I've always reckoned that the pot doesn't demotivate me, so it doesn't send me crazy, so I suppose I can still think rationally about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be better if I didn't have to spend the money. I mean, if I had an extra $300 a week, I suppose there'd be plenty I could do with it, rather than just smoking it in the sedation station.
How different do you think your life would be if you did have that extra money to spend on other things?
I wouldn't worry as much. It's always that worry about getting on, and then at the end of the week, you worry about the fact that you did get on, and you spent that money, and it's not there, and you've got bills coming, and maybe the work won't be there. So I suppose it'd be less worry, which would be good.
It sounds to me like it would be a big relief in your life if you could free up all of that money you're spending on pot.
Yeah, but at what cost? Like I said, I've been smoking pot for 36 years, so what's likely to happen? How am I going to feel, and how long would that last?
Well, Anto, you've explained to me what the pot doesn't do to you. It doesn't make you unmotivated and so on. But what does it do for you? What rewards are you still getting from smoking pot? What's good about it?
I don't know. It's not like when I was a kid, you used to do it to sit around with your mates and laugh because you got high. But I couldn't even tell you the last time I was even felt stoned. Just like I've got to always top up. I'm always topping up. That's the feeling that I get.
So really, Anto, could you say that it still brings you pleasure?
Yeah, yes and no. It calms me down. When I'm stressed out. It doesn't make me stoned, but it calms me down. But then I wake up next morning and I'm stressed again because I've blown it all and I've got to get on again. And I've read in the papers the government's going to crack down on it. That'd be a shame because it's just pretty easy to get on at the lolly shops, like we call them.
Are you telling me that work is a source of stress for you?
Oh yeah, when you work for yourself, it's always a source of stress. Finding the work, managing the work, getting paid for the work, doesn't seem to end.
One of the things that you and I can do is explore some different ways that you can find that you'll be able to relax after work, deal with the stress, in perhaps a way that's less harmful to you than smoking.
Yeah, as long as it's not that hippie shit.
Okay, what do you mean by hippie shit, Anto?
Oh, herbal teas and yoga and, I'm not about to start doing that at 50.
I don't think that sounds realistic either. So yes, I think the hippie shit will be something that we avoid in our meetings about this. Well, it sounds to me that you've already made a few changes, and you've already identified that by smoking less you'll be able to have more money, and it will be better for your health, and by the sounds of it will give you the opportunity to live longer. So what I think that we could do in our ongoing sessions is come up together with some plans about possible ways that your habits with your pot smoking and cigarette smoking can be addressed. Does that sound like something you'd like to explore here, Anto?
Yeah, because I've always, I always think about what I should do, but I can never get motivated enough to do it or to make a plan. It's always things I don't think about.
Okay. All right then, well, I think that our time's up for today. So
I went quick.
Yeah, it did go quick, didn't it? Is there anything that you'd like to ask me about our first session today?
Oh, no, not really. I'll just take it as it comes. I'll just see how I feel when I come next week or whenever it's going to be.
Okay. So what we'll do next time I meet you is we'll carry on a bit further about our discussions today about your smoking, your income, your stress from work, and the changes that you've already made. And we'll come up with a plan and take it from there from our next meeting, Anto, which will be in about 7 days' time. I think you said that suits you.
Yeah, okay. So do I have to ring, or do you ring me, or do I just write it down?
I will go outside and talk to the secretary about that.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.
Righto.
No other questions for today?
No, not for today. I mean, this is just, I just stuck my head in to see what you had to say.
Okay. So nice to meet you, Anto. Let's go out and we'll talk to the admin staff.